Hi everyone, Lolly here. Today I am going to show you how to make these, and there's actually a pair of them. We're going to work on just making tags. I've been working on Halloween, and so I'm trying to make the transition. So just before I decide on what the next project is going to be, I wanted to make some tags. And I used the corrugated cardboard and some scraps that I have. I'm going to use just what I have in my little Christmas tote already without buying anything, seeing what I have left over in there to use. And in the end, I'll show you what I did with the second tag here. So stay tuned. So let's get into all of this. Get your coffee, craft along with me, get your hot glue guns, and we'll just talk and we'll just see if we can create some tags. Okay, so I'm using corrugated cardboard, and I have boxes of this. I save all types of boxes and then I cut them into smaller pieces, and then when I'm just, I want to do something but not sure what, then I cut them into kind of general 3x6 sizes, some a little bit bigger, just depending on what I'm going to do. So I have a whole box of, and I mean, I have like a big shopping bag and a box of just these things, but they're so great because they make great tags. They're good and stiff. If you didn't use this as a tag on a gift or in a junk journal, you could hang them on the wall as small pieces of art. When we're done, it's going to look like a small piece of art, and you could just hang it on the wall. So you want a good sturdy piece to do that. Also, we don't want to have to buy everything all the time. I mean, you don't have to. I could go out and get, you can use these watercolor pads, but I use these for my ATCs when I'm in a swap. So, you don't have to go out and buy those things. So this is my favorite, and it's free, and that's even better. I don't like to use wet glue on these when I put the paper down to cover. This Loctite works pretty well, and I use the Elmer's. The Elmer's is my favorite, but I can't find it. So we're going to use Loctite today, and I'm going to spray this off the camera. You can make the tag any shape that you like. You can cut the traditional angles out here. I like this. My Halloween tags I cut out on the Cricut. This is really, no, I'm sorry, not on the Cricut. The Silhouette. So running it through there, it was a little bit thick for that. And for these, I want them to be square. I have more room to work on, and I just like this shape. So this is going to be the shape that we're going to use. I'm going to spray it with adhesive. I'm going to do that off camera because I have to step away. And then we're going to cover it with our papers. These were already scraps that I had, and they're just barely 5 inches. So we're going to adhere that on here. I trimmed them up a little bit. When you're trimming your paper, when you're using scraps, make sure you save the prettiest parts of your scraps, right? You just want to save, like this one I could have trimmed from this side, but I would have been missing that little distressed area right here. So I trimmed it from this side to make it fit better. So, okay. So that's what we're going to do next. And then we'll go through, probably ink it a little bit, distress it. Most everything I do, I distress. It's just, you can tell by my Halloween stuff, I just like the distressed, grungy distress, not necessarily just like farmhouse distressed. I love that also, but kind of grungy distressed, dark. Those are my kind of things. I have different types of stickers, so I might step out of my comfort zone a little bit and see what we can come up with. So I'll be right back. Just showing you that how I cut them. I have my Crop-A-Dile. If you don't have a Crop-A-Dile, you have a corner punch. That would work on this cardboard because it's not so thick that that wouldn't work. This poor thing has had its money's worth used of it, so it looks pretty bad, but I did the 1/2 inch. This is just a corner rounder. I don't have any other shapes did the 1/2 inch here, and just to kind of clean it up a little bit, I did the 1/4 inch on the bottom. So the one thing, normally I like to spray the paper, but with the spray adhesive, sometimes it can come out in these little blops and then that stays on your paper. So I try to get it really smoothed out, spray it on the cardboard. And if we have to trim it up, we will. Paper spray. And also with the spray adhesive, you're kind of, once it's down, it's down. You don't have time to move it around like you would with the wet glue, but I'm okay with that. I'm just going to trim it up when I'm finished, and I just like that it's smooth, it doesn't buckle, and I just prefer to use it anywhere I can on a project. I'll use the spray adhesive. So, but just use what you have on hand and use what you prefer. We don't all work well, like those ATG, the tape guns. Oh my gosh. A very sweet lady gifted one to me, and I see everybody using those, and I think, okay, I'm a pretty smart girl, but I can't. I have the hardest time with it, and I have to do my projects. I have to just do it over and over and over until I can get the tape down. So, so we all have whatever tools and whatever mediums we like the best, and that's what we use. So, use what you have, and use what you're comfortable with, and you don't have to have anything special for any of this. So, I'm just gonna take these over to this, what do you call it, guillotine cutter. I'll show you. My daughter gave me this, not the remote. And I love it. This one's made by X-Acto. It's really solid. It has a really sharp cutter. Oh, I love it. It was like the best thing ever to get. So, let me put you back over here. So I'm going to step over and just trim these up just a little bit. I'll be right back. Another way you can trim the edges of your wood projects or your tags is to take a nail file. And you can see this one's had better days. And if you just sand the edges, sorry, I hope that doesn't look too crazy on camera, but you just, any kind of project, I use it on my little wood projects, whenever you have paper down, or even just a small distressing job. But anyway, when you have paper hanging over, if you just sand it, the excess will come off, and you'll have a nice smooth corner there, or edge. So that's just a little tip that works pretty well. Or small, like I have a sanding block I got from Dollar Tree, and you can do that as well. Instead of having to cut all the extra off, if you just sand it off, but you have to do it from this way so it doesn't pull up your, see? So there we go. I think I feel like I'm really close. I need to adjust maybe a little bit so you don't get dizzy. Another thing about all my cardboard pieces is I cut them into little small pieces like this, and you can glue your sentiments on there. Make your own sentiment, whatever you want the saying to be. Put a sticker over here, but it gives you that elevation. It gives you something thicker, like a chipboard feel to it. So I never throw away cardboard. If I do, it pains me, but that's why. You can raise your stickers, you can put your sentiments on there. It's just endless. So that was from my new sauce. So, but anyway, don't throw them away. Use them for things like that. I think it's a pretty awesome idea. So let me go find some ink. Here we go. Another mess. But I've been working on projects and I haven't cleaned it all up. My problem is because I work in Austin, they have this place. I've done a couple of hauls from there, the Creative Reuse Store. And this was brand new, and I get them for $1. So, can I stop myself? This one also was taped still, and it was 50 cents. Even this one has seen better days, but it was 50 cents. It's an awesome, it says clay, and it looks like clay. So, every time I go, and it's not far from my job, of course, it's right on my way home, so I have to stop there every now and then. But I mean, seriously, these are colors that I wouldn't normally have because these are expensive. Like, I don't have the budget to spend $6, even if I do my 40% off at Hobby Lobby. I feel like I could just get one here and there. But these were all untouched. Some of them still had a little plastic cover, depending on the brand. So, that's why I have this. But you don't have to have all this. I don't use them. I have them. But I use my favorites. I have this. So I also did a video on how to use shoe polish. This one and the liquid one as distressing ink. So anyway, I love having all of these. But I didn't start out with all of these. And I've been doing this for some time. So still use my favorites. Like, I paid, I think, 50 cents for this. And it's the kind of like the embossing, kind of glittery embossing powder. So, but I always reach for my favorite colors. No, I lost the top for that one. So, and that's normally the Tim Holtz, the walnut stain, or what is that other one? I just got this one too, Antique Linen. I got this one at the Habitat store. Let's see. The photograph one, the vintage photo, is in here somewhere, and that's the one I'm going to look for. And we're going to do these tags with that. Okay. I thought I had run out of memory. So on this little test sheet, I tried this color of frayed burlap. I tried this color with the Antique Linen. And I did the vintage photo, which is this over here. And one more, we'll just see, so I'll know which one. Sometimes some have a little bit. So this one is the walnut stain. So I think I kind of like that one. I think we'll try it. I know some people say you shouldn't rub your ink pads on your projects like that, but it's my worst habit, and I do. So, I just am too lazy about getting a different dauber and doing all of that. So, even though I know I should. So, I'm trying to just clean this one tag up. One corner's a little bit not the same. So, let's see what we can do here. I'm not going to poke the hole just yet, because sometimes I don't do a hole. I just like staple with the staple of different colors, some ribbon on there. So kind of just let your piece, whether it's tag or your mixed media pieces or any piece, whatever you do, whatever you sew, embroidery, knitting, painting, you just select the project. I'm sure you know that. Everybody that's creative knows you just let the project tell you what it wants to be. Mine normally want to be grungy and vintage and old and worn. So already, like, you take just one plain piece of paper, you put some ink on it, and already has a whole different look and a whole different personality to it. And that's what I love about paper. So my shop in Etsy is Scrappy Lolly Paper Company, and you'll find a whole bunch of Halloween right now, just because I love that. And again, I was doing some challenges and So using up those things, but so and on Instagram also Scrappy Lolly Paper Company. Here on YouTube and on Facebook I have Scrappy Lolly Paper Company, my page, and I also have Scrappy Lolly Paper Coterie, which is a coterie is apparently a group of people that have something in common. So that's what I named my group. So that's where I share my projects, my pictures. But if you come over to Scrappy Lolly Paper Company, and then you can do a request to join the group if you'd like. So come over there. And but anyway, my whole thing is about paper. I mean, you can just take paper, whether you do origami, whatever you do. My thing is paper. I can sew, I can embroidery. I can't knit or crochet. I didn't learn those things, but I always come back to paper. And I like to quilt, so I feel like paper allows me to do that and bring all those colors together. And I can't really distress a quilt like this. I'm not that good. So this allows me to do that. And then, you know, sorry, I got a little tongue-tied just then. I think since we have distressed this little scrap piece of paper, we're just going to use it. So I like to layer. You can put your embellishment on now, or you can go ahead and, oh, sorry, I hit the camera. You can distress it. You can cut it if you have different scissors that have the different shapes. You can cut that out now. If you have your Cuttlebug, that's what I have. You can get that out, and you can make impressions here, emboss them. I'm not going to do that on these. I have a big enough mess out here, and I just don't feel like that's the look I want to do today. So we're going to use this, and I'm sure I have a matching piece to it. So I'll look for that. Okay. So what's wrong about having a matching piece? I can't believe I don't have a matching one, but we're going to use this instead. And you can use whatever look you're going for. Lace or glitter paper. That would be pretty. I think I only have bits and pieces of glitter paper, so I'm not sure that that would work. This, I also have this piece. And since this is just kind of going to be a background, I think I'm okay with that. It's facing the opposite direction. I feel like that's not the look I'm going for. That's a little bit cutesier. So, I don't know. I know at home you're going, don't cut it there or cut it here. I always do that when I see people, but doing it on camera and what you see from home are like different things. So I don't know. It's really just going to be a background, so I'm going to just cut it. And there we go. Doesn't fit. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a little break. Went and put everything in the yard that was going to blow away. Kind of secured that. And then I sat down for a minute, had some coffee, and started watching, what is it? Scratch Made Simple with Laura Will. And she makes all these yummy things. And so I decided soup needed to be cooking on the stove. So got my soup started, and here we go. So I've kind of been going through little bits and pieces, trying to not bore you with me digging through my tote over here. So sometimes it's hard when you only use what you have because you're limited. And so let me see if I can get this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and punch this because I've decided I am going to put something in there. So we're gonna work on this one. And okay, I tore the paper I don't know where my other one went. Okay, so to match this one, instead of everything being square, and I probably should have done that on this bottom one, but just gives it more character, I think. If you like clean lines and that kind of thing, that's perfectly fine. Again, all anybody can do when they're doing a video is kind of inspire you, and then you just make it your own. If you want to do this in pink, some people do the vintage pink colors. That would be beautiful also. Just don't think that I have anything with those colors. I have some lighter pink kind of retro colors that I made a journal with them, so I might have enough left over. I think I'm really close, and that might be a little bothersome. Okay. So we're just going to layer. Now, even though I prefer the adhesive for the bottom part, just for the gluing on, I like to use my hot glue gun because it's instant, and you can use any kind of wet glue, any kind of adhesive that you like. The little padded sticky ones, you can use those. I just like to use my hot glue gun. Okay, so we're just going to layer. Whatever you think looks good, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put that on there according to how you like it. And for me, with what I have, because I'm determined to use just what I have, I'm not going to go out and buy anything. Stick that on there. I like lots of layers. I guess most people do. I'll show you with my Halloween tags. There's lots of layers. And again, I put those through the Cuttlebug. I'm going to emboss them. Layered, cut out of paper, some corrugated cardboard, tore the top off of it. This was a sticker. This I just cut out. The back was one of the wooden ones from Dollar Tree. So lots of layers. And this was just paper I printed, put it on a little tag that I had cut out. So so again, we like to do lots of layers. So now I have this, and it's not kind of grungy. It's a bright red, but we can fix that, right? With Distress ink, we can fix anything. So I'm going to put that on there. This piece for the other one. This is a burlap. I got it actually at the Dollar Tree. So I don't want it to be like dark, but I don't want it some of the ink to show. I did put a paper down so I don't put too much on the table. Be easier for you to see, I believe. And then I'm just going to pull some of these strings off just so it's a little raveled. And then we're going to put that down. We'll put this one down, and I am going to hot glue it, and you're going to be able to see it, but we're going to put layers over it, so I think that's going to be okay. I do want a little bit of this green coming further over here, so we're going to do the same thing. And again, if you have scissors that have the decorative edges, that would be cute, or like pinking scissors, shears actually is what I was going to say. That would work as well. Or just tear it, because I just want a little piece just showing out from underneath that. Never fails, right? So, oh my goodness. I have this glue gun, and I don't do reviews, but this little guy was not too cheap. But it's really hard to use. Like, really. So it doesn't grab, maybe I got a bad one, it doesn't grab the glue stick, so I have to do it with my chin or stop. So 1 minute. Okay, we're gonna get the big gun out. I'm going to set aside tag number 2. It's a little distracting to go back and forth while I'm trying to film at the same time. I don't want it to take too long, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside, and I'll come back to it at the end and show you how it matches the one that we're working on. Alright, so we're going to put some layers here. If you were going to make this for a junk journal, you could still do all these layers, and then on the back you could attach the picture, or maybe like photo corners, something like that. So I always think if I make them and I'm going to put that in a junk journal, you can, I have a, you make them yourself, but I have a punch that does corners, and you could certainly punch those and then put them on the other side. It's still smooth enough where you could write if you wanted to, so you could put some paper on the back of here. I don't make mine with that in mind, putting it in a junk journal, or at least not these. Kind of for decoration, to put on your platter of cookies at Christmas, or put on the side of jars for decorations, things like that, when I make these bigger, thicker ones. But because it's thick, if you put paper here that you could write on, it would be perfect for a journal, because you could write a story that happened around Christmas, cookie baking day, or whatever happened, and it'd be a good solid place to write, and even add a picture too. So I think they're perfect for that, actually. So all right, let's see what we're gonna do here. Okay, and again, I am going to put a little hot glue on here, and it would show, except for we'll have it covered with other elements, so it'll be okay. Okay, I'm going to have this just sticking out a little bit on the side here. I think I want to go ahead and add this on there. Such a nice way to spend the evening. Our cold front came in, and probably if you're up north where it's really cold, you probably think I'm just being a crybaby. I am really happy that it's cold. It dropped earlier today. Like I said, it was 75, and it has now dropped to 45, I think it is. The wind is blowing really hard, but it's not wet and icy, thank goodness, because I have to drive to work in the morning, and I don't want to drive in that. So it's been a nice day off. It's Veterans Day. I have the day off. So thank you to all of our veterans. We have a big military family, and lots of veterans, lots of active members right now, including my son. And today he sent me a video of my grandson, and he marched in the Veterans Day parade in the band. So that made Grandma cry, because I miss them. They don't live close by, and I don't see them as much as I'd like to, but I was very proud. So proud of my grandson and his band, and I'm proud of my son, who is active military. And for all our veterans, we owe them a lot. We owe them our lives, I believe, because without them, we wouldn't have what we have and be able to enjoy the freedoms that we do, even with our active military. So if that's not your view, I apologize, but it is my view. And their families make sacrifices, and so I want to say thank you to all the veterans and all the active military members. So, okay, so remember earlier I told you to save these, because you could put your sentiment on there, and that's just what we're going to do. So I'm going to put it on here, and then we'll trim it up. Oops, sorry. Okay. I bumped the camera and it fell, so I had to reset. And I feel like I need to kind of hurry because the light's changing and I think I'm getting a glare from the dining room light. So here I've glued this onto our little cardboard piece. And then we're going to put it up here. Okay, so it's not so easy to do the little fish tails. I'm not good at them anyway. Once you have it on the cardboard, but I'm alright if it's a little off. Sorry, I'm not even on the camera. So oh my gosh. So anyway, like I said, it was a day off today from work. I commute really far, so I was grateful to not have to do all that today. So soup is cooking, the house is quiet, YouTube is in the background. That's a pretty good way to spend an evening, I think. So I want to just take, I don't want this to be so bright, so I'm just going to go over the middle. Oh, sorry. So, and then you just decide on your placement, maybe down here, and I can put the snowflake here. This is the part, right? Like, you just never sure where you want to put things. I don't want to cover up that string. So maybe we'll put it here. Oh my gosh. There's so many different places you could put it. I think I'm going to cover this corner here. I don't mind if things stick off the edge of my tags. I'm okay with that. All right, so from here, I think we'll do the little snowflake. Can we do more than one? Let's see. One is distressed and one is not. So maybe just a little, just to take the bright shiny out because it doesn't go with this so much. We'll do that one and we'll do a small one. Okay, you hear my chimes out in the yard. They are really all blowing hard. My neighbors are not real close, so otherwise I'd be worried that it might be bothering them, but I'm pretty far away from the other homes, so that was hot. Out. So, all right. So, see, so this is my style. Whatever your style is, just know that. Layering just gives it dimension, so it's not just flat when you're looking at it. If you're going to use this in a junk journal, it would still totally work because it has the flat on the back of it, and I like the way it came out. I'll make the matching one here in a bit. I'm trying to see if I have a ribbon that I can put in there that will go. And I think I like this one. So see, sometimes you don't have the exact thing that you need, so you just make it out of what you have. So I like this ribbon, and I think it would make the perfect tie for our tag, so we're going to use it. So just clean it up a bit, and that's that. And then you can add different colors in with it. So I think I should have went the other way, right? Nope. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So again, could completely hang this somewhere in your house, put it in a wreath. Doesn't have to be just for junk journaling, that kind of thing. If you took it to your cookie party and you put this as the tag, and again, if you cover the back, before you put this on, you want to do that. But you could either put the to and from, or you could put whatever sentiment you want to have on there. I'm going to pull some of these strings. I like how that looks. Or you can put it on the side of a jar. If you give the cookie recipes in a jar, you can hang it on the side. You could put your name of your cookie on the back here. So I like to do these big ones for those reasons. So if you wanted to hang it, you can make a different type of hanger here, tie it at the top, so you could hang it from that. You could put a hanger on the back of it. This comes out to be, I think it's 3.5 by 5. Of course, there's no ruler close by. I have the ink sitting on the cutter, but let me see real quick. So yes, so these come out to about 3.5 by 5, and that makes them a really good size for decorating or putting in a journal, and they're a good size. If you did put it in a journal, you have plenty of room to write and put your story on there. I had to stress Santa a little bit more. So, and then did I show you that I popped Santa up on the corrugated cardboard so he was lifted up a little bit? So this was made with what I have on hand, so which was the idea, right? So we're just gonna make with what we have. So you can totally make with what you have. We're going to be completely different supplies for the most part, because the paper packs come from Hobby Lobby. The snowflakes came from Hobby Lobby. Don't know where I got this ribbon from. The twine, Hobby Lobby. All of the things come from Hobby Lobby, and I think we all shop in the same places. So, so I'm okay with that one. I like how it came out. So let me work on the next one, and I'll show you how it comes out. Okay, I'm working on these videos in segments as I do a couple of steps. I'm starting this one again. Somehow in my editing, I just deleted everything and I went to my deleted files and it wasn't there. So who knows what would have happened to it. And I had, you know, you plan it all out perfect and then you mess up the video and you have to do it again. So, but a couple of things have happened. I found this ribbon, and I'm not sure if I talked about it in the video that's saved, so I'll have to look and see. But it's not really ribbon, it's some cloth that I have, some fabric that came out of one of those rag rugs. And if I have a video on there, it's called Eureka. But I washed it, I bought it, it was really stiff. So I washed it and I ended up with tons and tons and tons of just pieces of beautiful fabric. You would never know those were inside the rag rugs. And so that's a piece of that ribbon. I like it much better than the plaid I had on here. I love the feel of it. So I went ahead and put that on there. In that process, I tore the little Christmas tree star. So I took the little Christmas tree off. I didn't know I had more Santas. So I put another Santa on there, which I'm fine with because I love them. And I like that they ended up matching. So I talked about putting these tags on a journal, and then you already have your focal point already made up right here. I like to work in the small spaces like this or the front of a small journal. I like to do that part. So I had a journal in my Christmas tote. So I got that out, put the other tag on there. The material in the back is a burlap. I don't know if you can see, but it has gold threads in it. So I don't think I can get you to see it, but anyway, it has gold threads through it. And then I put a piece of the red burlap just behind it. It runs behind here. You can see a little bit here just for a little embellishment, just a little color in the background. I put the tag on top, and then I had these snowflakes that I got Dollar Tree or Walmart, either one of those, and it was whole, but the whole snowflake wouldn't fit on the front of my journal. So I have the pieces of the little snowflakes that I want to just put either here, probably I'm going to say here, something like that. So it doesn't take a lot to make something really pretty. I have somewhere I had a little silver snowflake. You know, I'll add a couple of more things, not too much, but so just to give you an idea of what you can do. So here's the front of your journal already made just by making a tag. So the journal itself is made out of wrapping paper, but it was like a brown paper, and so it was designed like this. I didn't do anything to that. Added the dots just for a little just a little color, something a little extra on the front. So, and the inside of it is probably a macaroni box or a dog biscuit box. So I always save the boxes. Those are kind of really thick boxes. So that's normally what I make my covers out of. And this is just a piece of scrapbook paper here. And so I've already punched the holes, so I can put the little eyelets in there. So that's my book. So there's the two tags we've been working on. So they came out the same. So now you have one you can embellish and decorate the front of your journal with. And then somewhere in the pages I can include this one. Or this can be a whole nother project on its own. So without too many supplies that you wouldn't have on hand or that you could find or come up with without having to buy or spend a lot of money on making tags. I love making them, and like I said, I don't always make them thinking about putting them in a journal, but a lot of times I will put them on a journal just because it's a small space to work. I handle that much better, can get this decorated how I want it to look, put it on here, add like the burlap like I did here behind it, and then all of a sudden you've got a beautiful journal cover, and then you can just go from there. If you do put it in a journal, this is really thick, so it makes like its own little writing board already. So it's ready to go like that. Put it on your cookie tray when you go to your cookie exchange this year. Put it on there. You can put paper on the back here and put your to and from, something like that. So there's so many different things you could do. So just calling them tags kind of doesn't do them justice, because They could be a little wall hanging, any kind of little artwork. Put them up on a little stand or a little frame, like almost like a parlor card or something. So I'll have some on my desk at work, little decorations, and then it's just a way to show off your work. Like, how many places do you get to show them off? And the Etsy shops, of course, and we get to do that. But anyway, that's just a quick little let's make some tags to kind of just inspire you. That, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot to do that, and it just takes ink of whatever kind that you have, and you can create something. I think they turned out really pretty. I'm glad kind of that the Christmas tree tour, then I could have them both as Santas, because I like how they came out. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit this video and put it all together for you. I'm assuming now that I'm going to be making this journal, so we'll do that as a project as well, and we'll fill the inside with some pages, and I'll bring you along to do that as well, in case you're new and you're learning and you want just the kind of beginning ideas. When I first came on, I would watch videos and I would get so intimidated, and then little by little you try new things, and so I try to just show you the easy step-by-steps. I don't do digital pages. I have a friend that designs beautiful papers, but not pages, but I just create from scrapbook paper and odds and end paper, just to see what I can do with that, and some stickers. And so I just bring you along with me and show you a few tips along the way. So thanks for joining me. I hope you're all staying warm, and we'll talk again in the next video.